She's been locked away, the mad woman in our attic, who could, we are sure, do untold damage if let loose. She's deeply threatening to society. We dare not admit to her for fear of our children being taken away from us or being hospitalized in a mental institution or being deemed unable to cope, of bringing shame to our families and ourselves. And so our crazy woman side is further denied, pushed further away, or medicated with antidepressants, self-harm, eating disorders, or alcohol. The crazy woman. I wanted to highlight her this week because it's interesting. I'm reading this book, The Rainbow Way by Lucy H. Pierce. And there was a full moon this week, and I just happened to get to the crazy woman part when there was a little bit of crazy unleashed on our house, and I double checked and I was like, I think there's a full moon right now, and there was. There was. And so actually I referred back to this and actually another one of Lucy H. Pierce's books that I have, Moontime, where she also talks about the crazy woman in there in relation to our cycles. And it's just like these really great reminders of the fully multidimensional aspects of ourselves, and like the parts that we shun away and the parts that we actually need to listen to. And so using this crazy woman archetype to our advantage is a part of the practice that I've been building around just like actually feeling and expressing and listening to anger, finding like healthy ways and healthy outlets to actually make space for those emotions, rather than, doing some of the things like she mentions where we're just finding different ways to cover it up, right? And ignore what these parts of ourselves are actually trying to tell us. In those moments, when it's the hardest, when we feel like these things that we don't want to be feeling, when we're behaving in ways that like we don't want to be behaving in, that's when we have to keep coming back to our practices and being gentle with ourselves and remembering what our main mission is and our main focus is. And so like having that written somewhere in your house, or like just always coming back to like what is the core thing and what matters most, like in those kinds of moments where the crazy woman archetype might emerge for you, or some aspect of yourself that you don't appreciate. What matters most? Bringing it back, bringing it back, bringing it back. For us, it's connection. No matter what emerges within our household, whatever isn't perfect, whatever is perfect, whatever is like moving away from our ideal, remembering that at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is our connection with ourselves, with like God, Goddess, this universal force, and with like each other as a family. And so coming back to that, but also recognizing that this aspect of yourself is trying to tell you something, trying to tell you that like something needs to change. I want to read more. Where can we start here? Because this, the crazy woman, this is where our power is held, in darkness and anger. We're taught to fear her domain and avoid it. Cover her up with gentleness, niceness, meekness, and silence. Prettify her with cosmetics. Bite your tongue, swallow your words. Be grateful. Do not, whatever you do, make a fuss. Be a good girl and smile. Don't ask questions. Don't complain. Shh, don't shout. This is what our culture teaches. What have you learned about the crazy woman so far in your life? From your mother, grandmother, aunts, teachers, female friends? Was she acceptable or locked away? Was she pampered over with niceness and face powder? Was she medicated with antidepressants or alcohol? Did she emerge in screaming fits or suicide attempts? In physical abuse or shaming? In divorce or hospitalization? And more importantly, how have you learned to deal with her? What role has she played in your life to date? Many of us simply try to deny she's even there. I remember once, in all honesty, claiming that I never felt angry, but denying our shadow side does not mean it is not there. It just hides it further, makes it stronger and deeper as it grows in the darkness of our denial and rejection, causing more suffering when it finally emerges through the layers of our psyches. So she goes on to talk about the importance of expressing the crazy woman, finding these ways to make space for her. And so in those moments, like maybe at a full moon, when you're not able to sleep or when your baby's not able to sleep, that was kind of the situation in our house. And where, you know, when she emerges, actually, she mentions it in the Moontime book, like which she wrote a little bit later, and that she sees how the crazy woman emerges for me after too much unbroken child caring time, sleep deprivation, or too little creative headspace. And the sleep deprivation piece, after being a mother for 2 years, like now I really finally totally understand just how important sleep is, and how it does make you crazy if you don't have it. So yeah, again, just being like really gentle on ourselves if something's going on. I've like witnessed people going through different phases of spiritual awakening and through different layers of exploration in the underworld for themselves, going through dark nights of the soul, like coming face to face with some things that are just like really, really hard for them to face, and not being able to sleep, and how that just like compounds everything and that makes everything really worse. So making sure that you're getting that sleep first and foremost. And if for some reason you can't because you have a baby, for example, then like just be really, really gentle with yourself. And again, remember to come back to what matters most, and then make some space for the crazy women, for for forgiving yourself, for like taking note of like how you'd like to try to do better next time. Maybe it means like you need to try to go to bed earlier so that like you have enough sleep. Maybe it means that you need to listen to what the crazy woman is saying about like maybe she needs some help and like asking for help. There are so many things. And if we take this time to let crazy women express in healthy ways, such as in journaling, taking some space for yourself and for her, to like maybe like listen to music and like move the energy through, or through somatic healing and practices like some of the ones that I was talking about in my heart journeys, where you're actually like taking the time to breathe and feel into different parts of yourselves. Like some of those parts might be connected to crazy woman or be crazy woman herself, like parts that have been like numbed out and are like maybe emerge in situations that aren't ideal. But at the end of the day, it's really just about remembering that crazy woman isn't bad. Like she's needed. She's actually been, as she says in here, she says it nicely. Just like I don't often like quote from books, but she says it really nicely. She just talks about how how she's always existed under different forms, and it's just that now in our Western world we don't have any space or way for us to honor the crazy woman. It's the feminine, yes, it's another feminine archetype. She was depicted and revered as an ancient goddess, such as Kali, Medea, and Hecate, the face of the goddess of death. Hecate, I don't know, I never remember how to say that. But our modern cultures have no place for her and no image of her. The dark goddess is missing from the Western world. We fear her destructiveness inside ourselves, and she is deeply threatening to our society. She kind of like repeats some of the things that she said in her other book. But that's what it is, right? And it's about us bringing that back and making that space for her without letting her consume us completely, and without her like letting her take over our life and like destroy everything, but just recognizing that no matter what, she's going to be an aspect of us, and that she's there to help us, and we can't like ignore her or shut her out. Actually, there's great power there. And so, especially in the fall, especially in the winter, like more of that is going to be coming up as we go into our own inner and underworlds, where we go deeper into whatever it is that like our soul is going to be asking us to shed next, or asking us to see and let go of. Like that's what this time of year is. So the crazy woman might come out more, especially if you're not resting enough. Days are getting shorter, darker for a reason. it's time to start going in. And if you're not getting that rest, you might be getting sick. Those are like some of the first signs of like, maybe getting sick. So just really take care of yourself, pay attention to your body and these inner seasons and the outer seasons around you. And don't try to like keep pretending that it's summer and going at that pace, even though that's what our like Western world demands of us, to like ignore that seasons exist, when in reality they do. And we are living in cycles, and we're reclaiming this ability to live with the cycles and pull all of the magic and the goodness that comes from that. It comes from the ability of like really taking advantage of the seasons and the gifts that they have to offer, so that we can keep evolving and growing and developing into like the highest and best versions of ourselves. So Crazy Woman will have a lot to say to help you keep doing that. And it might be like around setting boundaries, about taking care of yourself, about making sure that you get that creative space or that time to like really feel and express and reflect, like just by taking some time to journal or talk to somebody or whatever it is. Perhaps it is sitting in a circle. A reminder that I have my expression and heart journey circles starting up again in November. The first one's starting on November 6th. And I'm also going to be launching some red tent, like women's spaces, just like once a month. So I'm going to get more clear on that and share information on that soon. The next one will just be, looking at my calendar, it'll just be like end of November anyway. Yeah. So I'll send some info about that later. So those are some possibilities of some space that, an example of a space where maybe some aspects of Crazy Woman would want to come out. It could also be, and where, there would be safe for her to like express herself and what she's feeling. It could be just, like I said, journaling for yourself, dancing for yourself, moving the energy for yourself, doing any kind of art form that holds space and time for you to like really feel and express her. It could be also just like a one-on-one like coaching space, more private like space in that capacity, which I also offer. Or if you're needing, I do want to mention this as well. There are like free versions of circles called, oh my God, I should know this, but it's like healing circles, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, I did some training with them, and I'm not going to their circles now, but it is a possibility for you to also like have circle space there if you want to try it. There's like some free circles there, or by donation is really what it is. So that's another option. Yeah, okay. I think that's all that I wanted to say today. Let me know if this resonated with you, and if you know all about Crazy Woman and how she emerges in your life and how she's helped you. Like, I know that for me, when I really listened to her, she has a lot of important things for me to pay attention to, and when I do deny her, it does become way worse than if I actually hold space for her and listen to her and see what she's saying to me. So I wish you all the best in your own journeys with your own Crazy Woman and in our reclaiming of her and our society and of the dark goddess in those ways. And sending lots of love. See you in the next expression.